Most traders will never make it, not because they're stupid, but because they're soft, right? They fold under pressure and no one's going to tell you that, but I will. And here's what happens, right? You find a new strategy, you demo it, you feel good, you start seeing green, and then you go live, and then you take one loss, and then you're back on YouTube, right? You're back to the drawing board, and you're kind of back in this spiral. And then you find yourself hopping from one setup to the next, and you're kind of just hoping for confidence to build, right? Naturally, just by doing the same thing over and over again. But here's the thing, confidence never comes from a strategy, it comes from your structure, right? And you tell yourself this is the one, this is the thing that's finally going to change it all. And then you get in the market, you go live, you take a challenge, whatever it may be. Then all it takes is just one trade, one bad trade, one red day. And then just like that, right? The confidence is all gone. And then you're back on YouTube, you're scrolling through Telegram groups, you're back on Instagram watching traders win while you're sitting wallowing in your own doubt. And then you kind of tell yourself, well, maybe that wasn't the right setup, or this strategy doesn't work in these market conditions. But deep down, guys, you know what really happened, right? You bailed when it most counted, right? You cracked under pressure, and then you're looking for another system to save you from yourself. But I want to tell you something, right? Most traders never realize until it's too late. Confidence does not come from strategies, it comes from structure. And confidence doesn't come from what you're trading, it comes from knowing exactly what you're supposed to do every single time. So that means no hoping, no guessing, not staring at your charts waiting for permission, right? Real confidence is boring, guys. It's mechanical. It's the result of structure or repetition, right? Of building a process so simple, so locked in that when the setup appears, you don't just ask questions, you execute. And the problem is most traders want the feeling of confidence without earning the system that builds it, right? And that's why they end up folding. Because when pressure hits, they don't fall back on the process, they fall apart. And it kind of comes from knowing without question what your next move is, right? Before the market even makes you feel anything. Because if your emotions are running your decisions, then you're already done, right? It's calm certainty that you know exactly what your next move is before the market even makes you feel anything. Because when your emotions kick in, when your heart rate spikes, when your brain starts spinning stories about maybe I should wait, or maybe this isn't the right one, it's already too late, right? If you're waiting to feel good before you enter, then you've already lost, right? If you're adjusting your plan mid-trade because the candle twitched, you never had a plan, you just guessed. And you have to understand, guesses don't survive under pressure. Only real structure does, a real process. And that's why the work happens before the trade. When you build the rules, you follow the gospel, or you follow them like a gospel. And then when the time comes, you don't think, you just execute. Because if your emotions are running your decisions, you're not trading, right? You're effectively gambling with more conviction. And the market doesn't reward the smartest, it rewards the most consistent. And most of you, you're consistently inconsistent, right? You don't stick to rules, you don't commit. You think your problem is entries, but your real problem is execution. And the market only rewards one thing, and that's consistency. And most of you are inconsistently or consistently inconsistent, right? You do the work sometimes, you follow the rules until the emotions start to show up, and then you're disciplined when you're in profit. But when things get uncomfortable, you change your plan mid-trade, right? You chase, you hesitate, you panic, and then you blame the market. Now, let me say something that might sting. Your problem isn't your strategy, right? It isn't your risk to reward. It's not even your entries. It's your execution. It's your process. It's what you do when it actually matters, right? You get a clean setup and you hesitate. You enter and you exit early. You hit a target and then you give it all back on a revenge trade, right? You're saying you're going to risk 1% and then you go full margin when the candle looks too perfect. And here's the truth, guys. You don't need another tool. You don't need to go hunting for some secret. You just need to learn to stick to your plan without flinching. And if you're honest with yourself, most of you don't have a plan. You don't have an idea. You don't have a preference. It's more like hope it plays out kind of plan. And that's not execution, guys. It's gambling with nice chart markups. And you want to know why most traders can't hold winners? Why they cut too early or move their stop the second they're in drawdown? Because they don't trust themselves. It's that simple. And they don't trust themselves because they never built a process that they actually believe in. Right? Execution isn't about feeling good. It's about doing the thing regardless of how you feel. And that's really what separates the traders that are consistent from the frustrated ones. Not skill, not intelligence, just discipline. Right? And if you constantly tweaking systems that never had a chance to work, not because they're broken, but because you never stuck around long enough to give them a fair shot. Right? And you find yourself jumping ship after one loss. You add new rules midweek. You follow the setup, but you close early. And then you wonder why you never get the results. Right? And you think you're a strategy away from success, but what you're really missing is a structure that keeps you locked in when it gets hard. And the kind of structure that doesn't fold just because your emotions are screaming. We all face emotions. But here's what most people will never tell you. Talent isn't enough. Being smart isn't enough. Having knowledge, irrelevant if you can't apply it under pressure. And what separates the few that make it? Well, they don't quit when it gets hard, right? They don't flinch. They follow one system, one mission, one set of rules. And then day after day, even when it sucks, you're not losing because you don't know what to do. You're losing because you keep bailing every time it gets uncomfortable, right? So you've probably followed me for a while, right? I've done account flips. I've passed challenges, even though I'm not trading challenges, but I've passed them, right? We've got crazy amount of student wins. But none of that happens because of talent. It happens because I built a system that forces discipline, that removes emotions, and that makes the right thing easier to do. And it's not another course, right? It's not another method for you to collect. It's a weapon, right? And we've done that for the last 3 years with the 2C team. And now I've just spent months and months and months evolving that concept, right? You've seen the 6K payouts, you've seen the account flips, 350 plus, 500 plus traders pass challenges and verification, right? Traders going from being stuck to funded, right? We've watched multiple six-figure payouts hit real accounts. This is not theory, guys. This is real results. And this is over 3 years of building, refining, sharpening one system. 2CT only. But here's the thing about growth, guys. It doesn't sit still, right? The markets are constantly changing, execution evolves. And if you're serious, so does your systems. So what I've done is I've pushed it even further. We took the 2CT back into the lab. We put it under pressure in the live markets, real risk, full exposure. 1,478 trades tracked, right? We flipped 2 accounts. We passed the challenge in 3 days. And after months and months and months of building this, testing it out and proving it, we're finally ready to open the next chapter, right? And it's called the 2CDT, two candle deviation theory. And this Sunday, I'm going to be breaking it down live for the first time. And I'm here because I want to invite everyone who is serious into a limited group of traders to step us inside, traders who are ready to stop chasing setups and start executing with surgical clarity. And if you've been waiting for a system that doesn't fold under pressure, then you're going to want to see what's coming next. If you're serious about turning your trading around, guys, lock in because I'm coming back with a couple more videos this week.